Good morning, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen. I know you all are having a great morning. I have another story for you. Mary Gingles, I think the name is spelled Gingles, like the liquor gin, with Gles, Gingles, or something like that at the end. Mary Gingles. She filed for a divorce from her husband back in October of last year. And she had been telling the courts that she was afraid of her husband. And her husband was saying that's a lie, that she's not afraid of him. And she was trying to get a protective order against him. But his husband fought against that protective order, basically saying she was making it all up. She's not afraid of him. Just basically filing for that protective order for no reason. It seems like these days that it's hard to get protection from the people that we allow into our life that turns out to be a sour patch or a danger to us or our pets or our families. It's hard to get them out. And sometimes law enforcement, they're not helping us or can't helping us or understaffed. Because I went through the same thing trying to tell them that my husband is unhinged. And I got plenty of videos of him sending people to my house and voice messages of him. But there's nothing that they can do because they say that I can't prove that he was actually at my property because I didn't actually see him. I just heard him in the bushes, or he sent family members, but it wasn't actually him. I can't prove he sent family members. Long story. So this woman went to the court, went to law enforcement just as I did, and explained that she was in fear for her life. And she had filed for divorce back in February. So her husband, you can Google this story, it happened in Florida. Again, Mary Gingles, I think that's the last name. Lady unalived, running from her husband to the neighbor's house, and the neighbor was unalived, with 4-year-old daughter following behind. So this man came to her house, unalived her father, his father-in-law. She takes off running. The 4-year-old is running. Her husband is running. Everybody's running. She ran to the neighbor house, bamming on the neighbor door, screaming for help, saying her husband is trying to unalive her. The neighbor can't get the door open fast enough. By this time, her husband was right on her trail, right at her heels. The door swings open. He unalives the neighbor, and he unalives his wife, and he already had just unalived his father-in-law at the house. So he leaves the scene of the crimes. Law enforcement catches up with him, and he has his 4-year-old daughter. And he's charged on multiple counts. I want to say, you have to read into the story. I think kidnapping and 2 murders and a host of other charges. And after her death, they wanted to submit the filing she had to the court. I don't know who submitted it on her behalf that was showing that she pleaded for help through the system and could not get any help. How many of us plead for help and can't get any help with the system and law enforcement because they're understaffed? They just don't know what to do, or they're new, they're inexperienced. Their boss is new, inexperienced. Nobody know what to do. Nobody know how to put their heads together and do something. Everyone's just lost. It's just the blind leading the blind. So when we let these mentally disturbed people into our life, we may have to go on the run, like I'm on the run now, because my 6th husband is unhinged. Just like this lady in Florida, Mary, her husband was unhinged, and nobody would listen to her. Same with me. I got tired of being tormented on my property in Terrell, Texas, out in the country. And when I say out in the middle of nowhere, and when I was getting tormented after I filed for my divorce and left, he became more unhinged after I filed for the divorce. So Like I stated in one of my other videos, even though we escaped, we're still not safe. My sixth husband was able to find my new phone number after I've changed it, I think like 3 times already. So I think he's going online, paying a service. Once my number is out there, my cell phone number is out there, he get the new number. So what I've done, I'm not going to change it again because it's getting a bit ridiculous. I'm just not going to answer private call, unknown calls, or no caller ID calls. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to be careful who we're letting into our life, because it can't say that word. I want to say D with the L-Y, Deely. It could be Deely. They can unalive us. They can unalive our pets. They can unalive our family members. They can unalive our neighbors. The same has happened with Mary Gingles. I don't know if I'm saying her correct name, her last name correctly, but Mary in Florida. Google the story if you're interested. Mary Gingles in Florida was unalived by her husband. She ran to the neighbor's house. The husband was running behind her and the 4-year-old. That's all I have for this morning. Just be careful with who we allow into our lives. Be safe out there. Bye for now.